Can you switch the lights, man?
Hey.
Sorry,
Welcome into the Bogey Banter.
Trevor just woke up.
not myself today.
He sleeps
Welcome
here.
into the banter of Bogey Bros.
You know how they have like sleeper trucks, like the, like semi
Yeah,
trucks,
with
like the sleeper.
cab in it. Yeah.
Well, I just need like one of those in here, like a nap pod.
Trevor slept in here once on those couches.
I did.
I came in the morning and I was shocked.
I said I was gonna do it.
I stayed overnight.
I didn't believe you.
I stayed overnight here once, but I didn't sleep. I was editing a video.
Oh.
I was like,
What'd you do? So I had an idea for our Bogey Bro battles next year. We'd thrown this around. We'd thrown this around previously. But I think it's just time to commit.
I love it.
I don't know
I
what this
haven't heard it
idea
yet,
is,
but
but
I
I'm
love
very
it.
excited for it. Okay, you made it sound like you had been talking about it.
No.
Well, it's been thrown out, so maybe I have heard it.
Y'all definitely both heard it, I think.
Oh, okay.
I need to pull something up here.
I was watching the Good channel last night. They had like a fan.
Come on, man.
They had like a fan event like we do with like the nation essentially. Except they weren't. I don't think they were playing against them, but they had it just a meet out there and like we're playing and watching. They were having them watch the video. Mm-hmm. Man, they had a lot of people. It was crazy.
All right, so here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's crazy.
We rent an RV.
I love it.
And we just go cross country. And instead of going once a month all throughout the year, we just do 1 2-week trip. This is the Bogey Bro tour. Just 2 weeks.
One.
And we hit we're gone for 14 days. I think we do
How many states
15 battles
I was
across
gonna say, do we even need to go that long? How many are we doing this year? Like 10?
I don't know.
I feel like if we plan that right.
Well, we do 2 a month when we do it. So we're going 16 battles. Because there's 8 different times.
We could do some.
Because we'd leave Virginia. I think we go south first.
Okay.
We'd go Virginia, make a stop in South Carolina or Florida.
Well, yeah, the question is, do we just try and drive all the way out and then hit them on our way back?
No, I think we do a full U.
We just
full
do a
loop.
U.
So you know
okay.
what? I think we leave Virginia. I think day 1 we hit North Carolina.
Okay.
Nice. Say hi to my parents.
Maybe we go 2 battles in North Carolina that day. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna just say the states. I think day 1. I think we go Virginia, hit North or South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, over to Texas.
That's far.
That was a big leap right
That's
there.
not. It doesn't seem that far.
It is. I think.
Well, it depends
that's
where you
pretty
are
far.
in Bama. It's not that far.
Because Alabama, you just have to drive through Mississippi and Louisiana.
Well,
When we just drove through
There's
from
2
here
big
to the
states.
other side of Missouri or to Missouri.
making it all the way to Texas, admittedly, on this trip makes it a pretty intense trip.
I'm going farther than Texas.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking then we go Arizona,
Oh my gosh.
Utah, and then we come back to Colorado, Kansas, Missouri. This is going to be a long one here. No, we just hit Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia.
I've always wanted.
How many
to,
states was that?
Well, 12. Because you
I just said 15
twice.
first, so I wasn't ambitious enough.
I've always wanted to do a road trip in the RV.
Look at that, because then we just
I've
go.
always wanted to do a road
it's
trip,
basically just a
period.
U. We go down, across to Arizona, up to Utah, Colorado, and then just hit these states on the way back.
Well, yeah, I get the idea, but how does that time work out there?
So day 1, we go.
Because there's some long drives in there.
Day 1, we go down and we hit Charlotte and Rock Hill area. So we hit North and South Carolina. 2 battles. Day 1, boom.
Because if we can only
And then we drive to Florida that night.
we can only hit. So let's think about it this way: if we wanted to get 16 battles, we can only get a maximum of 2 battles a day. So that means there needs to be 8 days of battling, and that gives us
6 days of
That
driving.
gives us 6 days, which might even be.
That's probably too
That's what I'm
much.
saying. We might not even need that much. We may need 12 total days.
Well, I think there'll be some days where it's do we do 2 battles in this day, or is it driving day?
we would have to figure it out. I like the idea though. I
then
like
I think
just knocking it all out.
I think we hit. This is. I think we hit South Carolina, then we drive straight down to Florida, do a battle, and wake up in the morning, do a battle or 2 in Florida, drive to Alabama, and Alabama I think is a 1 battle state.
It's a 1 battle state.
I think we wake up 1 battle Alabama, and then we book it to Texas.
We book it to Texas.
Because that's probably the longest drive of the trip.
Yeah, it sounds pretty.
Because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, then we hit Texas, sleep there, wake up, double battle Texas, drive halfway to Arizona, spend the night in New Mexico, wake up, drive to Arizona, 1 battle, Arizona.
Yeah.
Wake up, or probably after Arizona, we start heading up to Utah, spend the night somewhere in between, wake up, drive up to
Then
Utah,
we throw a disc through the arches.
battle
Of course.
Utah and Colorado. We can probably hit those in the same day because they should have enough disc golf courses because they're right next to each other.
I mean, holy cow.
Then we go to bed.
The logistics
Wake
of
up,
this, like
Kansas.
how, like having to schedule it all out.
We had
would
to
be
plan it all out, but like think
crazy.
how sick it'd be if
We'd
like
figure out where we're gonna park our
January we
RVs.
announce our well yeah we just get like I mean it wouldn't be a massive RV. 2 people get the bed, 1 people get the pull-out couch.
1 people.
Actually no, we probably bring Silas.
Ooh.
Probably be us 3 and Silas.
Oh man, that
and
sounds
Silas would probably be
danger.
Silas would be A, an additional driver, but B, just like a vlog guy. Like
He's a
his
vlog
job
guy.
is to just
He's a
capture,
content
to make the,
I mean,
the road trip.
It would be
vlog.
incredible, especially if we could get like it would be kind of ambitious, but if we could get a graphic on the RV, I don't know, wrapping it would be extreme, but
Well, we're renting the RV, Trevor.
We can get a magnet.
that's
We
what I'm
could get
saying.
a car
We can get a
That's
big
what I'm-
graphic
That's what I'm
magnet,
saying,
yeah.
like something temporary. But wow, that would be electric.
That's intense.
Think how fun that'd be.
It would be very.
And we like
fun.
announce our full tour schedule in January. We hype it up, and then we leave in like late March.
Imagine like every stop it just rains, every single one of them.
Even better.
We'd have to definitely do it in the summer to give us the best chance. Like we can't do it in the spring, to where it's going to be raining often.
All right, so we do it into May.
Yeah, we do it around this time of the year, I think.
Yeah. Only problem I was thinking is if we do wait that long, we miss a lot of battles.
Oh, like before the year starts. Good. See, that's where this thing gets tricky.
Maybe we do the
Well, we
North Carolina, South Carolina before we leave.
I was just say we could we could do a couple battles at the beginning of the year. Like we could do like a March and April battle.
Well, we could also do single day trip battles. So we could like go drive to Richmond,
like just do
a battle.
We could do a
drive
couple
home.
short ones to kick the
Drive
season
to
off,
Beckley, West Virginia, do a battle, come home.
and then
Those are both 2 hours.
and then we do.
So we get those to
tour.
get like March and April out of the way. And then May we miss, and then we leave May, go
man,
on this crazy tour.
I'm saying,
and then just
I say we
May,
I
June,
tell
July,
I
August.
say we tell Silas to come along and film, and we make a documentary out of it, or like a mockumentary.
that's what I'm saying.
We make a
so we let-
mockumentary out of
we
it.
No, we give Silas
Surf's
full
Up style.
creative freedom.
Yeah.
We just tell Silas we want you to cover our 2
We
weeks
just
on the road,
tape a camera, to
and
that
we just
guy.
let Silas do whatever, however he takes that and runs with it. We let him.
I'm telling
would
you
be
exactly what that
so
would be like.
fun.
You know how we were making the joke about what if you were hired as a videographer for somebody's wedding and you vlogged the whole thing?
Yeah.
That's what it would be.
That's fine.
Just him like, hey, how's it
What's
going,
up,
guys?
everybody? We're in the RV.
That's fine. Just let him do his thing. Whatever
Man.
comes of it comes of it.
That would be a crazy trip.
Because then we travel once, we knock it all out of the way,
No, I
and then we don't. The rest of the year, like
It's
we don't travel.
Right. No, I like the essence of the idea. It makes sense because there's no point in spreading out the travel if we don't know how. Like,
we end up being gone longer.
yeah, I say this is more efficient, and it's one trip.
Yeah, just one trip wonder.
So I like that.
Wonder.
And then if I end up going to a pro tour or something, I just fly out, fly back later in the year. Whoever wants to go goes. That's it. But Bogey Bro battles 2-week trip. It's all done.
I mean,
I think this off season or like once we start reaching like October, I think we start looking into the logistics. Because also if we can sell the whole thing,
we could definitely sell it.
yeah, but, like if we could sell to an RV company,
Oh, good
we
point.
give away the RV at the end of the series.
the company on Wards, do they have RVs or just campers? My in-laws just bought a camper from them.
On 29.
No, literally
Oh,
on
or on
Wards.
460.
On Wards.
Oh,
like,
those are just
right
those are
there.
just campers.
Just campers.
But
okay.
up 460,
further,
there's an RV shop.
Yeah, we could sell that.
I think we hit up Marcus Lemonis. He owns Camping World. Be like, hey, I've talked about you once on a podcast.
We
Give us an RV.
well, because I mean, really, all you'd be factoring in is the rental for the RV and gas,
And then you'd have to
The
pay to
gas would
stay
be
at
expensive.
food.
You'd have to pay to
but
stay at
that would
RV
be pretty
parks.
cheap.
But the
and
RV
honestly, it'd be a lot if we had an RV instead of hotels. It'd be a lot easier to stockpile food to where
Yeah.
we could get groceries.
Well,
and
also
we
the,
wouldn't have to
the
just
gas
eat out.
tanks in those things are massive.
Yeah,
I saw a reel the other day.
And if you
of
go
a
to
guy-
places you can plug in, you don't have to like run the engine to keep everything. Then it's literally just driving you have the engine on for.
I saw a reel the other day of a guy filling up an RV, and it was like $800.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the
They're
tanks are
massive.
huge. I saw something like that. I mean, yeah, the hardest part of the logistics would really be mapping out the course and then planning all the teams. But that wouldn't be that difficult.
I'm pretty sure Paul's RV had his normal engine and then his generator
Do we just get?
engine.
Discraft to send us one down here.
Hey, Discraft, let's just steal your RV
Just
for
like
2
you
weeks.
got
man.
it spare. I mean, that sounds like that would be very fun. That would be a very crazy.
And then we could
trip.
also like
Or
have
we just
merch
rent
with
a
us the
school
whole time.
bus. We just get a school bus.
Now we're
and we just
talking.
hang like 3 Enos in there.
No, then we could also like pack merch and stuff under. So every stop
so we can sell on the road.
Cat
Silas,
merch?
Silas can run the like pop-up shop.
A pop-up. Yeah, I mean, no, that would be very fun.
And so then there's like Bogey Bros hats and discs at every
I'm
stop.
on board with that idea. And then it's like a tour.
Yeah, and like that'd be way like we could hype that up so much more because you just hype it up once. You don't have to hype
Yeah.
up something every month.
No, I like that. One trip.
They would be able to
knock
go
it
to a
all
bunch of
out.
states that we haven't been to before.
Yeah. Yes, that would be fun. That'd be fun. We have to look at the logistics.
Let's look at the Alabama to Texas drive since that's the
let-
one y'all
yeah,
were worried
maybe.
about.
Well, it's far. Well, because we would go into like I would just go like
Well, we probably wouldn't go to Dallas again.
wouldn't we?
Why would we go back?
Well, what?
We're going to be there probably during the off season anyways.
That's a good point. I mean, where else would we go?
Where's Alabama? What's
We
like
go
a
Waco?
famous place in Alabama?
Birmingham isn't the capital. Tuscaloosa.
Birmingham, Alabama. All right, where are we at there?
We go
Is
to
that the middle of the
Birmingham and
state?
hang out with Robbie C.
We're gonna want to go to
All
somewhere.
right, so that's like the middle of the seat.
is that where he is?
Yeah, he's in Birmingham.
We're gonna want to go somewhere where.
And then like Houston. Where is a good place in Texas that's not?
that's what I'm saying. I don't know where.
Have we
like,
done? We could do Waco.
Right, but is that gonna be out of the way? Like we're gonna want to stay online. You know, I
You
think
gotta see.
that's where.
Waco's 10 hours from Birmingham.
Oh,
We do Austin.
That's not bad at all. 5 hours, spend the night, wake up, 5 hours.
oh, we're stopping.
That's what I'm saying.
At some
We
point.
got to plan the logistics of the whole trip. We just pin this out on a map and we plan like, okay, the Alabama.
Whoa. But at that point,
Alabama to
dude, at that
Dallas.
point, is there like?
So it would be, we could, I mean, it'd be the same type of distance to Dallas.
We just have to do it one step at a time and just kind of figure out like where it makes the most sense as far as like the times.
Did
that
we do a battle
our
in
sleeps are at?
We did a battle in Dallas. We didn't do one in Tyler, did we?
We did do one.
No, we did.
We just
do
played the
that.
course in
We
Tyler.
played.
I mean,
Isn't
we
that
could.
what Flip City is?
Tyler?
Yeah.
No, Flip City's Michigan.
No, there's one. Isn't there a big one?
Dogwood. Tyler's where Texas
Tyler
State's.
State is Tyler State Park. What I'm thinking of is that like there's a course in Tyler that's like was like number 1 on DGCR back in the day forever.
Probably Dogwood. That's
No,
where Texas
it
State
wasn't
is.
Dogwood though. This is like, admittedly, I'm pulling a thought from my brain from like 2014 right now. So
Well, to Tyler, Texas is only 7 hours and 40 minutes from Birmingham. If we even went to Birmingham, because we could also go to Montgomery, Alabama.
well, yeah. I mean, I feel like with some
Montgomery's
states, it's gonna
closer
just,
to Florida.
with some states, it's going to be like whichever makes the most sense, as far as like the line of our course, like where we're headed. I'm gonna find this course because I swear I just know there was. I think it was just called Tyler State Park. Top courses disc golf, Texas.
Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama, which is it looks like an hour outside of Birmingham,
Yeah.
is only 3.5 from Tallahassee, Florida.
Well, I'll tell you what. Where's
not
Talco,
bad.
Texas?
Talco?
Because it's the highest rated course on DGCR.
Talco? How do you spell that?
TALCO. It's called
Talco.
Sailor Ranch in Lakeside.
Oh, Salem. That place is insane.
Well, where the heck is that?
It's 9 hours. It's just outside Dallas.
That
Well,
was-
it's about the same distance as we'd almost be in Oklahoma.
We'll go
there.
there. I'll tell you what.
We'd be driving through Texarkana.
What?
You never heard Texarkana?
Sure
It's the
haven't.
city on the border of Texas and Arkansas.
Oh.
It's Texarkana. Yeah, so that'd be about 9 hours from. That's from Montgomery. From if we went to Birmingham, it'd only be 8 hours. I mean, we just crushed a 13-hour drive to Missouri not long ago, and that wasn't even an RV.
We
Basically.
did crush it, but it
That's
also
what you have to
crushed
It was
think,
us.
in a
too.
yacht.
But that's what you have to think too is we're in an RV, so whoever's not driving can actually be sleeping in their bed,
In theory.
and the other people can be chill. What do you mean in theory?
well, there's just gonna be too many vibes for sure.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like you can just easily like
yeah, no, it's obviously a
and
much
if
more
you're
relaxing.
if you're not driving, you could be just like sitting on the couch on your laptop.
Yeah, it's a lot more relaxing
Just, like,
experience
chilling.
for sure.
Yeah.
When you're not driving.
Driving an RV is not driving. I've never driven an
I've
RV,
never
but
driven an
riding
RV either.
riding an RV.
I've never
Not
been
bad.
in an RV.
Because I rode with Paul
Well, I
from
went with Paul's
here
once.
to, we went to Idlewild, then we went up to Illinois for Peoria, and then back here.
Easy money.
Wasn't bad.
Not bad.
You're just chilling on a couch.
You're sitting on a couch.
Now, Paul's AC was broke. That made it annoying. But you just rolled the window down.
Yeah, there's TV in there. We can bring like DVDs of like the
Bogey
Crocodile
Bros.
Hunter, stuff like that.
Can we call it a world tour, even though it's not?
No.
Dang it.
Well, let's just go. Can
We
we,
don't lie.
Can we go into Canada or into Mexico somehow? World
No.
tour.
No, we can't.
Definitely not.
All right. Well, the year after, we'll do the same
We
thing.
can
but
go
we'll
into
fly
Mexico,
everywhere.
but we're not getting back.
Next year.
Imagine if we got
the year after, we'll do the same thing, but we'll fly everywhere.
Well, to be
So we'll
honest,
just wake up, fly to Mexico.
That sounds more stressful. Like
It'd be
having
way more stressful.
like having to get
But at
flight,
that point-
flight.
But at that point, we'll have a logistics manager, and they'll just
Yeah.
send us our tickets and tell us where to be.
and it'll be first class.
First class only.
Okay.
Well, it'll be paid for by American.
This
So
No, it'll be paid
This
for
is
by
how
It'll be-
long from now?
2 years.
the,
It'll be paid for by
Emirates,
Turkish
right,
Airlines.
Emirates Airlines.
No, Turkish connects more countries than any other airline. Saw it on a commercial yesterday.
Yeah, stupid.
I've never flown Turkish. Well, I think it's because Turkish.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've flown Emir or whatever.
You've flown Emirates?
I'm fairly
To
certain.
Where?
When I was in Turkey and all that blues.
You didn't
Area?
fly Turkish to Turkey?
I don't think so.
I guess maybe it's a little more like I just know like Emirates has like some of the most expensive flights.
You didn't
in
fly
existence.
Turkish to Turkey? What are you
Turkish
chicken?
delight.
Yeah,
What?
but I don't think it has
You
to
guys
be
ever have that?
expensive.
No.
No, I've seen it on
What is that?
what is it? Lion,
You guys
Witch
are-
in the
yeah, you
Wardrobe.
ever watch Narnia?
Yeah, Narnia.
What is it?
They always talk about Turkish delight.
Did you ever watch Narnia?
Yeah, I love
So like
That's the whole
what
dessert.
Edward wants is Turkish
yeah,
delight.
yeah. I remember that
Yeah.
now. Have you ever had it?
I have
How is it?
it's like authentic stuff I've had. It's so like the actual traditional Turkish delight. The flavor of it is rose water.
If you search Turkish,
So it's a bit out there, but
if
like
you search,
it's delicious.
if you search Turkish Airlines, their tag is flying to the most countries.
Well, if they really are, then I would make that my tag too. What's your tag? Like if you go to hunterthomas.com, what's it saying like after that hyphen?
Unintentionally condescending.
There you go. What about you, Konner?
I got nothing.
Mine just says like click here for free money and then just traffic.
I really wanted to think of something funny, but you put me on the spot. I couldn't do it.
I understand.
Trying to see like network. Like most of these airlines, like yeah, it's Turkish Airlines, but they're all
Oh, it's like under
like the Star Alliance. So what else is the Star Alliance?
I don't know, dude. I would mess around with planes.
Star Alliance members. Singapore, United, Air Canada, Air China, Egypt Air,
This is
Polish
all
Airlines.
underneath the one.
Well, Turkish Airlines connected to all of these.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah,
Air New Zealand.
just a bunch of different
There's just every weird.
countries.
Yeah.
with airlines.
I've never really flown United. I think I flew United to China once.
I
don't think I
I've
flew
flown like
Singapore.
American and Southwest, and
I've never flown Southwest.
I did a long time ago. Back, I think they don't have a really good name anymore. They used to have a very good name, but
Well, because the only places you fly out of here used to be Delta. Now it's American. You go to Roanoke, I think you can go United, but it's Delta and American mostly. And then when we went overseas, we went United most of the time.
Charlottesville's American as well.
Because we would drive to Dulles and fly. Or one time I drove to Raleigh and went through Chicago. No, we went Dulles. When I went to China, we went Raleigh, Chicago, up and over China. We went to Guatemala. We went
How many states have you been to?
states.
Like, let's all count. Even if you drove through it,
So
so
drive through.
flying doesn't count.
Well, I flew to.
If you flew to, that counts. But like you had to be on the ground in the state. How many have you been to?
Okay, I'll look.
Mine is definitely probably gonna be the lowest number.
I have to look at a map because I have no idea.
I have no idea either. I have to look at a map too.
But I'll go first. I've been to Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Ohio, Texas. Oh, we just drove to Missouri, so that makes this
Drove.
Yeah, we just drove to Missouri. That makes this interesting. So I've been to Missouri. We drove through Illinois and Kentucky and Indiana. That puts me at 16. I think that's where it ends. That's actually pretty impressive. That drive to
Wow, whenever we were in St. Louis, I had no idea where we were on the map.
that drive to it is kind of confusing.
That is not
in
where
there.
I thought Illinois was.
Illinois is kind of just stuck in
I
there.
think I'm at 27.
That drive to Missouri really changed things up for me significantly. But yeah, no, I've been to Delaware as well, so that's 17. That's impressive. That's more than I thought. 17 states.
28.
28. It's pretty good. For a while there, like, man, before I had this job, I really hadn't been anywhere. So honestly, with this trip, I'll knock out the rest of, really, I'll fill in a good bit of the rest of the Southeast, pretty much, like, because I'll get the Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, because we'll drive through all that. And then I'll just be missing, like, the Northeast, because I've only been to Connecticut up there.
Yeah, I think 27 is my
Which
number.
I suppose if I've been to Connecticut, that must mean that I had to go through
New York or
New York and or New Jersey, probably both from where I live. So I'm going to add 2 more states. So I'm at 19. Because I have family in Connecticut and we've driven there. All right, 19 states. And by the time this trip will add another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states.
I lost count every time I tried to count.
I'll be halfway done the country after if we do that tour.
I think most of mine is like the upper Midwest. There's a few like South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska.
Have you been to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Montana, Idaho. I never remember how far west Idaho is.
What's the furthest west you've been?
Washington, Oregon, California.
You've been to California.
Yeah.
Hunter, is
Played,
today your anniversary?
No.
Oh. Your computer says it is.
It's set for the 25th of every month.
Oh.
That's funny. Yeah, so his anniversary is in November.
Yeah, November 25th. Our dating anniversary is November 25th is our dating anniversary. That's why it's every month. Because in high school, she wanted to celebrate every month that we made. So I set it on my computer way back then and just never changed it.
He hasn't changed it.
Our marriage anniversary is the 18th of November.
Yep.
Congratulations, man.
Congrats on that.
Yeah, Nevada I've never been to.
What were you in California for?
We stopped there. We had a 10-hour layover on our way to Australia. So I stopped and played Golden Gate Park.
That's right. I have family in California. I've always wanted to just like see the Pacific Ocean, but I've never been far. But
California is really pretty.
I did
we'll
a
be there
cruise
eventually, I'm
out
sure.
of
my parents.
Washington, and we went to Portland when we were out there.
That's cool.
So Oregon and Washington I knocked out, and then we went from that to Alaska.
My parents were in California last week, and it wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago. It doesn't matter. And I talked to my mom on the phone last week, like just asking her about it and everything. My mom is like loves to explore places and stuff like that, and will also talk it up like big time. Like she'll have a ton of fun there. She's not one to go somewhere and just crap on it. Like she's gonna go somewhere and get super excited about it. And she said that Hollywood was disgusting. That it was just really gross.
I can believe that.
And she said that they went to the Santa Monica beach
Yeah.
or whatever, like the most
big
like the
deal,
popular beach in the US
Yeah.
or whatever. And she said, I was so excited to go because you see it in like every movie and you hear about it all the time. And she said, Konner, it's just Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
She said it's like bigger Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Yeah, I do get the feeling my vision of California is like I would like to see the touristy stuff. Like I would like to just see LA, see the Hollywood sign, but really I just think like there are probably parts a little further north that are like just really pretty.
I want to see like the landscape.
Right.
Like I want to see
that's the thing. I like
like California the state, not like the attractions.
I haven't been to a lot of states. Like Texas is really the only state, and Florida. The only two probably I've been to that have like really different landscapes to them. Because like we just went to Missouri and it's like you could tell me I'm
Yeah.
Virginia right now, and I'd be like, okay.
What blew my mind was whenever Gabby and I went to Colorado, as soon as we landed, I was like, I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack. I was like, where am I? I'm on a different planet right now.
Because all the mountains.
It was so weird.
That's how Jackson Hole was in Wyoming. Because you're at the base of the Grand Tetons, and then the Grand Tetons are 3 times the height of Sharp Top.
Yeah.
But Jackson Hole, you're still like 45 minutes away. So it looks like you're in Bedford.
Yeah.
Looking at the Sharp Tops. But it's really, you're forever away. So you just keep driving and it's just like, how big are these things going to get?
That's
and then when you're
crazy.
at the base, you like can't see.
The weird thing about Colorado was that like I just wasn't used to mountains that were rocks. Like
Right.
I understand why they call them the Rocky Mountains.
They're like, we're used to the grassy mountains.
yeah,
That's so
we're used
crazy.
to the trees, like everything just being covered in trees. And then whenever we drove to Utah, and that really blew my mind. We were in the city Moab, Utah, and
I've seen some pictures of Utah where it's
it
just
was
like
just
wild.
crazy. It was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen, which is being there.
I think my favorite place I've been Jackson Hole is my favorite trip I went on. But within Jackson Hole, we went to Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
And that
cool.
was
I would really like to go to Yellowstone.
that was very much like this isn't the United States. This is otherworldly.
Old Faithful.
It was wild.
Gabby and I are
Old
very-
Faithful was sick.
Gabby and I are very big on like, yeah, it's really cool to travel the world and everything. Like I respect that a lot, and I definitely want to do that. But like first, I want to travel the U.S. because there's so many cool things
Traveling
and really
the
pretty
world-
things in the U.S.
Yeah.
that like people don't realize.
Traveling the world, I think, gives you a bigger perspective on
More of a culture thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
U.S. you can get all of the different landscapes. Well, a lot of different landscapes.
Yeah.
But traveling the world is more about the food and the culture and the people. And,
It's more
and
just
the
the
architecture
lifestyle.
a little bit. Yeah.
Well, also it gave me a big perspective on like actual like third world countries.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you say it a lot and people hear it a lot, but once you actually see it, it's a whole different.
Right.
It's a whole different thing.
Right.
Because we went to this super poor area in Guatemala, and this group we were with did a feeding at the dump every week. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Why are we going to a dump to
Because
do
that's where
feeding?
they're looking for food.
That's where these people had set up their village around the dump because that's where they went to look for food.
Yeah.
And so every day they were just going through the dump to get their food. And so once a week, these people they'd bring enough provisions to give people food for the week for their family, basically.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was wild. And when we showed up, there was like literally like we were there for like 4 or 5 hours because the line just wouldn't stop. Of people just coming. And we did a baby rescue in the mountains where it was just coffee farms up there. But it wasn't coffee farms like big coffee farms.
Yeah.
It was coffee farms basically just for... It was basically like... It was similar to in the U.S. You have like local farmers for like corn,
Sure.
whatever. And they sell at like the farmer's market and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you have like
Mass farmers.
industrial corn farmers.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of money in farming. There's also a lot of poorness
Sure.
in farming.
Yeah.
Same thing in coffee, except for it's more extreme because so in Guatemala to grow coffee you had to be like in the mountains, and so you were to get to this village for this baby rescue because the baby had been born. The mom was so malnourished that she couldn't produce milk, so the baby was 7 days old and it only lived on coffee, which obviously you don't have to explain. That's awful for the baby. So what we did is when we went up there, we got the mom and the baby, kept them together, brought them to the hospital, which is where we were staying. And then they were able to, she's supposed to stay there, I think it was like for 3 months to get her back up to a healthy, where she wasn't malnourished, and then also save the baby's life.
Crazy.
But to get there, we drove 45 minutes on the road via just, the highways. Then we had to get all out of the bus, which there was like 5 or 6 of us, into the back of a Tacoma. And then you had to go off-roading 45 minutes up a mountain. And then the road, you couldn't go any farther in a car. So then we had to hike another hour just to get to where these people lived.
Wow.
So then we had to carry the baby out, and the mom was like, because she couldn't really walk. So she could walk some of it, but we had an hour hike back down the mountain to get to where we had to go an hour off-roading. And so it was a lot of like helping the mom along and carrying the mom
That's crazy. How far
down,
up in the mountains.
getting to the Tacoma down, and then there was an ambulance at the bottom waiting for her. So we had to get her down, and then they got her in the ambulance to start getting her fluids as they rushed her
Yeah.
back to the hospital.
Crazy.
It was wild.
That is.
But like
that
stuff
is
like
insane.
that is stuff that like
Yeah, you're like, how does this exist?
the perspective is just completely different than anything. Like,
Right. Like
I've seen it on TV before, but you're always on TV. Like, it's easy through a screen for it to be meaningless.
Sure.
Yeah.
In person, it's just a whole different thing.
That's wild. Yeah, you're hiking through a jungle to get to where somebody lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even left the country. I would like to go to Europe, I think. I don't know if when that's going to happen because I have a 5-month-old baby.
He'd love Europe.
Yeah, so I don't know when that's going to happen, but that's on my bucket list, I guess. Who knows? My parents didn't really get to do a ton of traveling until like we were older, so it's it is what it is. But yeah, just seeing, just being able to do these Bogey Bro battles and going to other states has been very cool because like I didn't really did a lot of traveling, so it's fun.
I've never done much in. Well, when I think Europe, I think like England and the UK.
Yeah, no,
I've never been there.
I want to see England the most. I just really like it I just like the idea of it, I suppose. I like the sports a lot. But then I would like to see, I like the idea of like Spain, Italy, Greece, that kind of, the Mediterranean situation as well. So I
That's the only place
Switzerland looks really cool.
Yeah. My uncle used to go to the Swiss Alps like once a year.
Yeah. I feel like we'll probably have a chance to go to Scandinavia at some point with this. Doing to the European Open. I'm sure we'll do that at some point.
Heck yeah.
So that'll be cool.
I wanted to go this year.
Yeah.
My passport's been expired for 5 years now.
Yeah, I've never even had a passport.
I'm sad.
But I'm sure we'll get to see that, so that'll be really cool. But yeah.
Never been to Finland either. And that's where we need to go for disc golf.
Yeah,
I want to go to Finland.
It would be pretty neat to all the courses out there look sick.
My brother went I think it was for his honeymoon or something. They went to England, the Netherlands. I think they went to Scandinavia. They went to all these different places. And he came back and the pictures were just crazy.
Yeah. It seems, just the disc golf courses in Finland.
Yeah, he didn't play any disc golf.
They seem insanely beautiful.
Because
the parks are crazy.
Yeah, that's where I want to get to.
Unfortunately, the Beast probably won't exist.
No, it's going to exist. We're going to get there.
We may. Our
I
time
don't know
is
because
taken.
that kind has gone down. The Beast is going away. Like that big petition came up and hundreds, I don't remember, thousands of people signed it.
I want to say when I talked to UC that it was still a thing.
Is it just not talked about anymore?
Because
that was like 20. Wasn't that like 2017, 2018 or 20?
No, I think it was like 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been 3 years ago
right before the pandemic.
Because it seemed like it was imminent. Like we might not be able to have.
I think it was right before the pandemic though, so that's probably why it stalled.
Maybe,
but I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't happen. But I think it is. But that's
what was the other one? Fritz.
There's one that starts with an H.
Is the Beast in Nokia? Is it Franz Ferdinand? Is the Beast at Franz Ferdinand Park? What course is there? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
They always talk about Franz Ferdinand Park.
I don't.
I recognize the name.
Well, I think it's a famous person.
It is.
Franz Ferdinand, yeah. I don't. If I look at the map, there's
search disc golf course.
There's a lot of courses in Finland these days.
Konopiste. Franz Ferdinand was at the Konopiste Open was there.
Okay. You mean courses there on Iceland? So many.
That's what
my brother. That's another place he went to Iceland.
That's cool. Dang. Finland. Oh, Finland is all the way on the furthest. Like it goes Norway, Sweden, Finland. I didn't realize. I thought it was the closest. Wow. So we're gonna be darn near in Russia at that point.
Finland's right next to Russia.
Holy cow, that is crazy. Where is because Helsinki, that I recognize.
That's the capital.
Okay.
Of Finland.
Because is that where?
No, I don't know. It's in Nokia.
There are courses in that area.
This is
European only for military personnel. Holy cow!
The European Open's in Nokia.
Where is Nokia? Do we know?
It's where your phone's from.
You're goofing.
Nice.
Yeah, my brother is the whole reason I ever traveled much at all. Because my parents traveled some, but never really outside the country. They would go on every once in a while they'd go to the Bahamas or something like that.
Nokia is
the Bahamas isn't actually that wild when you think about flying there.
Right in the middle of Finland, pretty much.
But yeah, then my brother out of nowhere.
That'd be crazy.
His first trip I remember him going on was to Ukraine. No, he went to Romania first with my uncle. My uncle used to go to Romania every summer.
Romania.
My brother went there, then went to the Ukraine. I don't even know who he went with to Ukraine. And then he started going to China every year after that. And then when he was in China, he'd go on like a 3-week trip. And then he would stay an extra 2 weeks and travel farther in China.
Wow.
So like they would go to like Xi'an and Beijing and Shanghai, like the big cities. And then he would say 2 weeks more and go to like really remote areas.
Just by himself?
No, it'd be him and 2 other guys.
That'd be terrifying to be by yourself in another country.
There was a few times where he left 2 weeks early and the people were already over there. So he flew to China and then took a train in China to get to the remote area they were by himself. Just
I would be so scared.
Wow.
completely
In a
alone.
remote country like that.
And then he also had a lot of friends
do have a
in
lot more tools
Korea.
nowadays.
And so he would just fly to Korea. A lot of times he would be in China like 3 to 5 weeks and then go and spend like 3 or 4 days in Korea because it was just a short flight. And then fly home from Korea.
It is nice. Like nowadays, we have things like where we can point our phone at signs and have it translated for us.
I saw a commercial where Google is developing like their Google glasses, like not Google Glass, but like actual, they look like normal glasses, and it'll translate while you're talking, just on the glasses in front of you.
That's
so I can be looking you in your eyes, and as you talk,
well, because
it'll just
Google
translate.
Translate's already
That's
real
crazy.
time on the phone. Like you can have conversations.
So they're basically just putting that into the Google Glass
that's
technology,
cool.
so then I can just be eye to eye having a conversation. If we're both wearing them, we can speak in our native language and read it.
That's like some
cool.
movie type stuff. Like that's the stuff you see in movies. Did you see? This is kind of off topic, but did you see they removed the last payphone from New York City? The very last one.
Really?
It was in Times Square, and everybody was throwing a fit. But what they're actually doing is they're putting in a new system all across the city where it's going to allow for free Wi-Fi calling for anybody.
Gotcha.
So people are like, oh, I can't believe this. People need access to phones. Like not everybody has a cell phone. Well, they're actually giving everybody a free phone now. But it was crazy seeing them take this last payphone and all these photographers are taking pictures of it as this crane is lifting it out. Like,
Dang.
I didn't realize there was still one around.
I mean, the song "Payphones" is going to be a relic.
obsolete. People are gonna be like, what does
our
that
kid,
mean?
We're going to be like,
I'm at a Wi-Fi phone.
Yeah,
we're gonna be
Like, what the heck
singing
is
or
a
like
payphone?
listen to payphone, like like you listen to the '80s music, but like everything about the '80s, like nothing sounds weird to it. Our kids are gonna listen to Maroon 5 and be like, "What
it's
the
gonna
heck
be-
was he standing at? A payphone?"
What do you like? What part?
Is that like
what
a
piece of
Walkman?
You telling me you
technology-
frickers had to put physical money? What is that? First off,
When I think
you
of-
had quarters, is that a Bitcoin?
Yeah, what?
Did-
Yeah,
was,
is that a
was
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin physical first? So you threw a Bitcoin. It was $50,000 for one call. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty. That's a pretty cheap rate.
When I think of like the devices that I think I'm gonna be like the most defensive about to my kids, like pop culture wise, it's gonna be like the DS Lite, the Wii. We're gonna have to defend the Wii to our death, I think, to our kids.
Yeah, because the Wii sucks.
no, it was the first
don't
of its
think so.
kind. You don't think we're gonna have to defend the
Because
Wii?
I think our kids are gonna like in
Because
my head.
they're gonna have like VR.
They're gonna have what we give 'em.
plus. Well,
My
yeah.
kid, the Wii's,
I mean, you got
my
that.
kid, the Wii's gonna be nostalgic because when he's 3, he's gonna be sitting there playing Wii tennis against me.
I
He's
mean,
gonna be
I-
like,
it
"Oh,
is-
the Wii, that was so much fun." Me and my dad used to play because like that's what I think of.
I mean, admittedly,
Atari, Sega Genesis, that stuff.
yeah,
like
I dabbled in that stuff.
when
but at
I
the
was
end of the
young,
day, like
that stuff was already ancient.
yeah,
Those are my favorite systems.
No, I mean,
like
yeah,
if I could go back and fire up an Atari right now, I'd lose my mind. Because that's what
first-
me and my dad played.
My first system was a PlayStation 1, which was before, like for me, even it was an older system. And I literally saying this, I own a PlayStation 2 that I bought months ago because I think it'd be cool to like have it. And I bought a bunch of old games because that was my favorite console. But I just wonder, and it is different because like, yeah, obviously it depends on what technology you present. But like me, like I'm still going to want the new stuff anyways. But I'm just curious to know, like, what'll be the ones that, like, they scratch their head at? Like iPods will look really crazy.
CD players.
Did you see they officially discontinued the iPod just, like, a few weeks ago? They officially discontinued it forever.
I
Who knew it was still
didn't even know it was still in
Well,
production.
I think the iPod Touch was probably the last one that was still in production. So, like,
Shocking.
that's...
I mean, the only purpose I see for an iPod would be for like kids. If you
Yeah,
just
Right.
want
they
to
all
use
get
it.
iPad minis.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But I just think
yeah.
it's crazy. Like that was such a big like era, and like they like on Instagram they were showing all these pictures of like people wearing using their iPods with like athletes like walking into the stadium with their
Heck yeah.
iPod Nano and their wired.
I found
headphones.
my
It's
iPod.
like, what an era to be
yeah.
alive.
I found my iPod Mini the other day.
Do you remember the iPod Nano
Still
commercials?
works.
The iPod Nano commercials with like the silhouette dancing, like while like
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? They don't make them like that anymore. I had, I think the only iPods until I got my iPod Touch, I had, like the only other iPods I had were hand-me-downs. My sister had a couple Nanos, and she had the newest Nano that had like a touch screen on it and the clip.
Yeah.
It was a pretty sick iPod.
I never had that one.
It was cool.
Why
wouldn't they just take that and make it an Apple Watch that you can remove from the band? That's basically what it is anyway.
Basically what it was. I mean, and then
Can you not remove the
think
Apple
about the
Watch from
fact that
band?
there was.
I mean, I guess you kind of can, but it's not like a.
But then what would you do with it?
Look at it.
Think about like the fact that they literally made a device called the iPod Shuffle, and you just couldn't choose the song. Like that existed.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
That's crazy.
How much did that thing retail for? Just take a guess
I
at
don't
how
know.
much the iPod Shuffle original retail price
I had
was.
the Shuffle and the Nano, but like the Nano that was like really thin on the edges. You know, what I'm talking about?
I think I had was I.
Oh my gosh, the original Shuffle looked like a Apple TV remote. It wasn't even the small one. It was like a stick.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it have a screen? No, that's not it.
The Nano had a screen.
Yeah, but I think I had was it iPod Mini.
iPod.
I had so my first iPod was
That was the original one right there.
Yeah, I never had that.
It literally looks like an Apple TV remote.
Oh my gosh,
It's like
that's
I think they
crazy.
actually modeled the Apple TV remote after that.
It's
Okay,
just a
so-
flash drive with buttons.
I had an original iPod, and mine was blue, and it had the screen, so it was like whatever that gen
Banana.
iPod was. No,
Or
it was
you
the
had the
big one.
classic. That was the classic.
I had a big one, but it was the edges were fully rounded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
that,
No,
like,
my
it was a-
my
it was an
uncle
old
had
one.
that one, and those ones had a lot of space. You could get like 128
Yeah,
gigs
and
on
then
those,
I
which
went
at that time
to-
was or was it megabytes?
You could also use.
I think
No,
it
I
was
think it was
megabytes.
megabytes.
I
It
think
was like
there wasn't gigs yet.
124 megabytes.
Because that was
using-
back in the that was still people still use floppy disks.
We were using floppy disks in like the 2000, like
My
early
dad
2000s.
was at least.
No,
I vividly remember,
there was USB in,
but it wasn't common yet.
I don't know when did because like we're talking like the Shuffle came out in 2005. That seems
Yeah, but the iPod didn't.
When did the original iPod come out?
When the iPod
It was in the
came out.
2000s.
Okay, that's the iPod.
The
Touch.
original Shuffle
2001.
cost $100. 2001. Okay, I mean, yeah, that might be floppy disk era for sure. That's a long time
floppy
ago.
disk era.
That's kind of impressive, honestly, that we had a mobile music player in 2001 that was like digital music. That was, I mean, that's such a
after
groundbreaking
so it seems
device.
like after 2000 they became increasingly less and less popular.
So it was around the time that they were starting to fade away.
Yeah, because I remember my dad still had
Isn't
some
it,
data
like-
on floppy disks.
What a
Because I thought it was
crazy-
crazy. Like when I got older, and because I also vividly remember if you had like a 3 or 4 gigabyte thumb drive, that was massive. Like
Yeah.
what on earth
Yeah.
would you ever need that for?
What the crazy thing
And
is,
like a 600 megabyte SD card was insane.
Yeah.
It was like, you can take so many pictures.
well, I think my PlayStation 2 memory card was 8 megabytes, and that was standard. You know,
Wow.
that's what data was like. Think about, so back then you had to buy every song, right, for 99
Yeah,
cents. And there was even a time where songs more popular songs were like
Well, you didn't really
$1.20
have
something at
to.
one point.
because you LimeWire and stuff like that.
well, it
Right.
used to be like
But-
the cool
Rapzilla.
thing.
Well, yeah.
That's the whole reason Shopify exists or Spotify exists.
That's like it used to be like a cool thing at Starbucks. You would go in and they would have those cards where it was a free download on iTunes.
Yeah. My thing is, my liked songs on Spotify, I would have paid like $1,000 for those songs if it was still the way it was, because that's how many songs I have like saved on there.
Yeah.
The
Which is-
iPod I found that I still have was like one of the early gen iPod
I
Nanos.
just remember listening to the
think
song
it was the first
previews
gen.
over and over and over again. They were like 30-second songs.
Yeah, I would listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like in the office.
Yeah.
Bye, my friend.
Like what a that was
Well,
crazy.
the coolest thing was you could import your CDs into
Yes,
your iPod.
that was
a big play.
actually very cool for the music industry, that like buying CDs had like double value for those artists, so they could sell CDs because now you can load it on your iPod.
because that's how I got all my songs.
My sister was big into CDs, so we got a lot of music that
was
way.
a frustrating era carrying around a CD player. I don't know why I have all these era memories because I think I got all
You
my
were-
brother's
yeah, say,
hand-me-downs.
You were stuck in the past because
I got all
the
my
iPod
brother's-
came out in 2001.
I got all
You
my
were
brother's
4.
hand-me-downs, so I didn't get his first gen iPod till he upgraded to the Nano.
I think you
So if
spent
I
the
wanted
first
to
like
listen to
10 to
music-
12 years of your life in like 10
I
years in the
remember
That's what I'm
past.
saying.
using-
I lived in the 90s, basically, because
Yeah.
I lived in my brother's hand-me-downs.
I remember
Yeah.
using portable CD players.
Yeah, in portable
Yeah,
DVD
they were-
players.
they
I
were
remember that
around.
being very frustrating.
Yeah,
They
because
existed.
you bump it and it skips.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
zzz.
Well, we had things like Video Now. Do you remember Video Now? It was a little movie/TV show player, like designed for kids that had like mini discs. So like you could have like Ned's Declassified or SpongeBob on one of those
I didn't have
things.
that.
It
I
was
had the
a
full
mini DVD player.
the full
essentially.
DVD player. Like you
Oh,
put
yeah.
the DVD here, and then the screen was up.
That was the car ride. Thing
Yeah,
for
that's-
us.
I always
that's
wanted
what's-
that, but I never
that's
had
what
one.
sucked.
We
in the
always
car
borrowed them.
What sucked? We had two because
our
we
grandparents had one. We
my
borrowed.
dad's Suburban had a pop down screen in the
Yeah,
middle. It was like
always
this
wanted
big.
one of those.
It was like
Never
this
had
big.
that.
Yeah. I know you're talking
It
about.
popped down.
My
and
mom's minivan
you
had
were
a
squinting,
VHS player
because I
built
had to
into
sit.
it.
I had to sit in the back, so I'm squinting
Yeah.
to see it. But I mean, it was so cool.
The screen, my mom's minivan, the Nissan Quest we had, the middle armrest doubled as a VHS player, like vertical
yeah.
slot. And the screen,
VHS players are popping off right now.
Are they? We
You can
still
sell them
have
for
one
like,
at
You can
home.
sell it for like 60, 70 bucks.
we still have one at home.
Yeah.
The screen on this
Gen
VHS
Gen
player
Z's
that was built in
insane.
was probably about this big. And we would all lean in and watch. And there was like 2 headphone ports, and the volume, like, if you weren't careful, would blow your eardrums out.
That is
And
so
I watched
funny.
Space Jam probably 200 times on that thing.
I remember the coolest
always
thing
worked, though.
my brother and I would do, because at that time, to drive to Myrtle Beach was a little over 6 hours from here. They didn't have roads like now. You can get there right at 5.
Yeah.
But the roads, I don't know if the speed limit changed. I don't know what happened. That took an hour
Toll
off.
roads maybe or something.
But it was over 6 hours when we were kids, and so that was a long drive for us as kids.
Yeah, our longest drive was at the beach.
So
and it was 8 hours.
We had what we figured out we could do is my dad bought this thing that went into the cigarette lighter. It was a power converter that you could plug into, and then his
Huge.
DVD player had the RGB inputs. In his Suburban, so we
so you get a
brought the
console in there?
PlayStation 2 and then eventually the Xbox
That's
into the
huge.
car,
That's
plugged
cool.
in, and then ran it. And like we were playing like Tony Hawk Pro Skater,
Yeah.
driving to the beach.
I don't
That's pretty
think
sweet.
I don't think I ever really tried that, or maybe I think I may have tried that at one point with the VHS thing, but it would have just been like the screen was so small, it would have been just silly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just watched movies on long car rides, and it worked great.
I was always jealous of people who had
The flip down screen,
Yeah,
that was
I
a
always
big
thought that
deal.
was so cool. We wanted one.
The newer Honda minivans had those. They always had it, and I was like, man, you guys. Are
I was always so jealous of families that had those, and we always tried to convince my dad to get one. My dad didn't buy a car with one of those in there until I was in college,
Yeah, we.
and it's the Pathfinder from 2006, so it's like not a new car.
There you go. Well, yeah, I mean nowadays.
Nowadays,
there's
that-
just screens everywhere with.
If
Yeah.
you pushed a
CarPlay.
button and a screen this big popped down, you're getting laughed out of the room.
Yeah.
That's just not good enough.
Whenever he got it, we drove to the beach, and it was before I was married, so it was just me and my mom and dad, and I think it was just me and my one sister that were riding together, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we have a screen in the car now. We should grab a DVD to watch on the way there."
Heck
Even
yeah.
though we have our phones, we could literally watch whatever. But so we went and looked at my parents' DVDs, and we were like, "Where the heck do all your DVDs go?" And they're like, "We threw them out. Like, why do we need them?"
Oh,
And that's
tragic.
another thing about that era is like they don't have nostalgia for that stuff because they're like, it's so much more convenient just to do this. Why would we keep DVDs?
Yeah, the
And
DVD
so
collection that hurts. to
I was
get.
like, okay, well, what are we gonna choose from? We've got Moulin Rouge, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, or Crocodile Hunter. And so, boom,
That's all
Crocodile
you
Hunter.
had. I mean,
And we watched Crocodile
My
Hunter
parents-
the
we had a
whole
lot
way
of
to the
DVDs.
beach.
My parents still have, I don't know, they have like a movie theater room in the basement, and they have 4 shelves that are full of DVDs.
I don't know if we still have many of ours. We had a lot of DVDs, but then also my nana worked at the library, so instead of you'd have to pay to rent the DVDs normally, but we got to rent them all for free.
That's cool.
So we would go before a trip and just scroll through and just pick out
Nice.
whichever ones we wanted, and like we would specifically have like a queue in an order that we were going to watch them in, like decided. It was a big deal. Like, well, no, we need to watch, Space Jam before we watch Shrek. It's like, it was very
I
important.
love Shrek.
My parents still have their VHS collection.
I think
Wow.
we still
Shakiest
have
gun in the
some, like,
West.
we had a lot of VHS.
I don't think we ever had a VHS collection.
Really?
Yeah, my parents have
My
like
grandparents
a
do.
a big bin that's just full of VHSs.
I had the original Star Wars trilogy on VHS.
Yep. My parents have. My
So
parents.
do I,
My
actually.
parents ended up.
Everybody had it.
I have VHS
They have 4,
collection
5, 6.
because I just went crazy at Goodwill one day.
Well, it was obviously the
That's
first ones that
true.
came out, and then 1, 2, and 3 came out on DVD.
Yeah, I have them on DVD.
But they also came out on VHS, and my parents were like, "Well, we have the others on VHS. We
think-
just need to have all of them on
I
VHS."
think episode 3, the Star Wars on I think that was the first PG-13 movie I ever watched.
Imagine explaining to your
kids. Because I was 6 years old, I think.
No, like we had to rewind this after we were done watching it.
Yeah, that is crazy.
If you didn't have one that auto rewind, just put your finger in.
Yeah, well, I always had one that auto rewinded.
There was like 3 movies that I ever watched on VHS.
And they would break sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
The only movies I ever watched on VHS was either at my grandparents' house or at my great grandmother's house. And
how old's your oldest sibling?
Caitlin is, oh gosh, I'm 24. Carly's 26. Caitlin's 28.
Okay, so my sister is 32.
I mean, we watched most of our stuff on VHS when I was younger, but I think
I was just trying to figure out.
I don't really know
the disconnect.
I think it's because a lot of our favorite VHSs, I think, came from my grandparents. I don't know. We had quite a few VHS. Like our VHS player was used a lot.
DVD was technology that came out like in our lifetime.
It's
pretty
very close. It's very close.
Yeah, but like I definitely grew up on DVDs.
Sure.
Right, but I do remember like the movies. I would watch movies that were coming out, and they would say coming to soon to VHS and DVD.
Yes, I do remember that.
So like it was still. I think it was just being phased out.
Yeah, 97. So like that's the first ever DVD.
Right. So as I was growing up, it was getting phased out.
Yeah, so we just didn't. My parents didn't buy
VHSs.
VHSs. Like we just had DVDs. But my grandparents had VHSs, and all we would watch is the series of Three Ninjas movies, which I know no one else knows what that is, but they're great. They're great movies.
I've seen one of them.
And then Jurassic Park.
Never seen Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yeah.
Love those movies. Obviously, I grew up on them. We would watch them on
There's
VHS.
a new one coming out.
And then
again,
that's Jurassic. Oh, yeah, that is Jurassic
World.
Park. You're right. No, it has the original characters. Like, see, like for me, I watched Jurassic Park when I was a kid and loved it and watched it all. Like we rewatched it like crazy, like you did when we were a kid.
Because there's 2 originals, right? Wasn't there like one other sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And whenever I saw the preview for the new one, the trailer for the new one, I saw the original actors on there and like freaked out. Huge amount of nostalgia for me because I love the original movies. But then I would also watch Indiana Jones, the whole series of Indiana Jones. And so I also love Indiana Jones a lot too. The only other one was that, you guys remember that dog sledding movie?
Yeah, 8 Below.
Yeah. Wait, is that it? Was that it?
That is a dog sledding movie.
Where he would bite the ear of the dog to show dominance?
I don't remember anything
I've never seen it.
But there's a dog sledding movie called 8 Below that I've seen from a while back.
Might be it then. Does he get stuck in like ice at some point?
I think he does, probably.
I mean, what else would happen in a movie?
Yeah.
Because my family, because when I 97,
he's like, he raised dogs. Like, is there dogs? I think so.
My 97, my sister was 7, and my brother would have been 6, or about to be 6. So when I was born, they already had all the Disney classics on VHS. Because like, what were they gonna watch? So that's why I grew up on VHS, and then once like
he's only 25. So
I grew up on VHS and then once some of the new stuff started coming out when I was like 7, 8 is when I started going to DVD.
Yeah,
But like a lot of my core memories of like childhood are like 3 to 5 range.
A good bit of my VHSs actually come because my oldest sibling is only 25, but I have an uncle who I believe was born in 85.
I'm as old as your oldest sibling.
Yeah. I believe my uncle was born in 85, so like he was like considerably younger than my mom and her sister and her other brother. So he grew up a good bit in the 90s. So therefore he had like that's where I have my Space Jam VHS copy from and stuff like that. So like that a lot of those VHSs made their way to me. That's also how I got my PlayStation Portable and my PlayStation 2.
How old are your parents?
My mom is this is going to be
My
mom is 48, I believe, because I believe my dad turned 51 this year.
My dad is 49, and my mom is 48.
So my parents have like 10 years on y'all's. Yeah. That's another disconnect.
My parents had their first kid at 20.
Yeah, my parents were young when they had my sister was born in 97, and my mom
97 represent.
My mom was 23 when my sister was born.
I don't remember my mom's age. My dad.
I beat them both.
I know my dad was born in 64.
I was 21 when Brooks was born.
Because my dad said, my dad was telling me the other day, he was like, I was thinking back.
Wait, no, I wasn't. I lied.
Yeah, I was about to say you weren't 21.
I was 22. I'm 23 now. It is really catching up to me here.
My dad was talking about the other day. He's like, yeah, childhood when I was growing up was just so boring. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I was thinking about the other day. He's like, what I did for fun was like I would lay in my room and turn on the radio, and the farm team in Lynchburg was at that time with the Mets. And so what they got with the radio coverage was the Mets games. And my dad wasn't a Mets fan, but like that was all he'd do. So he would turn on the radio and just listen to the Mets baseball game.
That sounds very boring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but
that was it.
To
and
them,
he was also like at like their family stuff, like family time. A lot of times, like they would sit down and look at the radio, like listen to the radio and you just all face it.
Yeah.
Because like that's
what you.
But back then, that was cool.
That's what they
that
had.
was it.
That was really cool.
The radio would have been like mind blowing.
He was telling me that when they first got TV, because my dad, they couldn't afford TV and stuff when it first came out, so they got it late. And the first TV they got had like 2 or 3 channels, and that was it. And so whatever was on those channels, that's what you watched.
We didn't have our first flat screen television in our home. Actually, the first flat screen we ever had was one that was given to me for Christmas to have in my room. It was a Westinghouse 720p TV.
Heck yeah.
That was probably like 27 inches maybe. And I think I got that probably when I was like, I was probably like around 13 years old at that point. Well, yeah, because it was Madden 12 was the first Madden I played on that. So I was probably about 13 years old. But then our family, we didn't have a flat screen in that living room because we had this big like Sony, I think it was, box
I know exactly what you're talking
TV.
about.
Because
with the speaker in the bottom,
and you used to have entertainment centers.
Yeah,
hold
that's
them.
what I'm saying. Because we had an entertainment center that had all 4 sides.
Yeah.
So like we had to like change it up whenever because that entertainment center we had was like it was very nice. It was a gorgeous piece of furniture. So when we got rid of that TV and got a flat screen.
What do you mean mounting on the wall?
Yeah, well,
we're gonna put all our DVDs.
We had to like get rid of that entertainment center because we had no use for it anymore. But like that was like a few years later than that even because we just never did. Like when you don't know when HD is. Like I still remember when high definition is definitely one of the ones that will be fun to explain to our kids that came out and we all remember it. I remember specifically going to my friend's house who had HD and we were watching college football and I was like, you can see the snot dripping out of that guy's nose. Like in this interview, look at how crystal that is. And then like you just don't even realize.
Well,
like,
not every channel was HD either.
Yeah.
When it first came
there was
out.
only like ESPN HD was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, because like nowadays, if I play a game in standard def, if I plugged it says, I would be like, what in the world am I looking at? But back then, like that little TV I had in my basement that was like weighed 100 pounds and was like a 20-inch screen.
That
was just as good as I needed.
Like if I can hear it in my head, the noise of when you hit power button on a static
like
TV, like
fizzes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like that like high pitched noise as it turns
it's
on.
Beautiful.
And then if you get too close, it literally like like
beautiful screen. And
you can just touch it.
I feel like I spend so much time with my forehead against the TV, just looking at it, just looking at like the pixels and being like,
my
you got
parents,
close enough.
we had in our basement, we had a hideous green and red striped cloth couch.
nice.
That used to be was in the living room before I was born. Then it got moved to the basement, and that's completely irrelevant. I just remember the couch being hideous.
It's important.
And our cats made it their litter box, but regardless. And then they had a TV that was like, still to this day, is a big TV.
But it was the box.
But it was just massive box.
Yeah.
It had speakers built into the bottom.
My grandparents had one like that.
And that's what we played our Wii on even.
I had to carry that thing out of their house at one point, and it is like the most awkward thing to carry because all that weight out away from you. Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, we had, because I remember.
It's like carrying a dryer or like a washing machine.
It was in the living room, and then when my dad got a flat screen, but he got a
flat screen.
The screen was flat. The back still had
pretty big.
It just wasn't.
out.
The screen just wasn't curved.
Yeah.
Exactly. It did do 720.
We went back to curved eventually.
Yeah, true.
Well, curved the opposite way. Though.
Yes.
It did do 720. That actually, he moved that like up to his bedroom when he got like an actual like normal LED TV. Moved the massive one up to the massive flat screen up to his bedroom, and we had to it took up his entire dresser. But they were like, we'd love to have a TV in our bedroom. And then he finally got rid of it because he was trying to figure out how to connect a Roku to it. And I was like, Dad, this is not going to work. No, I was like, it's just not going to work. I was like, we can run the USB off the wall and then run the HDMI in, but you're only going to get 720. And it's like just a TV's like this is this is 5 years ago. Like that, a TV you can go buy a 720p TV, same size, flat for like $300. Like just spend the money, throw this thing out. You don't want
cheaper.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it might have even been cheaper back then, but it was a big upgrade for him to go to that. I remember he went to a Black Friday sale, like 3 to 5. It was right before Liz and I got married, so it had to be like 5 years ago now. Almost, yeah, it'll be 5 years ago now. We went to a Black Friday sale the year before, so it was 6 years ago. The year before Liz and I got married, and Walmart was running, at that time, a crazy deal on 1080p, quote-unquote, smart TVs. Yeah, so they had like Netflix and stuff like that. It was Vizio, and they were 50-inch smart TVs. And at that time, it was a crazy deal. Nowadays, it would probably still be expensive for that TV because the TV kind of sucks. But it's still the TV I use in my living room. And my dad bought like 4 or 5 of them. Because he was like, I've never seen a TV this cheap. Like he's like, this will never.
Those Walmart TV deals on Black Friday,
they are really good.
Like they're crazy.
We showed up. We were like the first ones in the store. Sprinted to the back because he's like, we're never gonna see this again. And the limit was 4 per customer, so he bought them, and then he put one up in the living room, and the other 3 went in the closet. And as we got married and moved out, that was like a wedding gift. Is we got one of those Vizios.
Funny.
And so it's still mounted on my wall in my living room. I have a nicer TV in my bedroom, but I don't want to go through the trouble of mounting the.
It's funny how TV tech was like the trend for a while there.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of slowed down. Like you notice like it's not a huge deal anymore because they're so accessible. And like, because nowadays you have the wallpaper TV that kind of was a little trend there. The picture frame TV is probably the biggest trend right now. But like it's kind of slowed down. Even like cell phone technology has slowed down these days to where like it's not evolving as quickly as it was. So it's not like, I'm wondering, like, I feel like VR right now is like the thing that is like
really evolving,
kind of like in the mainstream and like changing quickly. Cause like TVs and phones were like the staple technology that like you couldn't wait for the next one every year. Consoles too, cause they've slowed down as well. So it's just interesting seeing that, like, what's the next thing?
I remember,
cause like iPhones, man, year to year, it was like, I needed the next one, but nowadays it's like, oh, sick, better camera. Like, that's fine.
I don't remember.
Mine's good.
Gosh, I don't remember when we got this TV, but at some point, and it was when all of us were still at home, so it might have been the big TV that had the like, there was a flat screen with the big thing in the back, but it was like the first ever TV I'd ever seen that was 3D enabled.
Oh, you all had a 3D TV.
To where you could put the glasses on.
That was a very quick trend.
Oh, man.
That was a quick trend.
The only movie we ever watched in 3D was Avatar.
Probably
we
awesome.
sat down, we watched Avatar. It was sick, and then we never put the 3D glasses back on.
We had Spy Kids 3D.
Well, that was like, that was the red and blue, that was the old school 3D.
There was
that'll be something we had to explain to our kids.
There was a quick trend with the 3D TVs, and you had the ones that you needed glasses, and then there was a brief set of ones that you didn't need glasses.
The 3DS, you didn't need glasses. Yeah, that's still crazy technology.
So it was kind of just, it wasn't quite as in your face, but like it still had an effect.
I never really understood the point in that.
Right. It's like,
did you ever play? I got a 3DS.
I didn't have a 3DS.
And I played Pokemon on it. And watching a Pokemon evolve in 3D with no glasses was like the craziest thing to me. That was somewhat recent. The 3DS is not an old system. I was a teenager.
TVs are still around, I think, and certainly curved monitors are, but they're not. They never really caught on a ton because they don't look great. Especially if you're gonna mount them on your wall, it's kind of weird. But TVs, it's kind of because like now it's at the point where I can go to the store and I could pay $300 and I could get a very big smart TV.
Yeah.
I mean, my nicest TV in my home is a UHD LG, so brand name UHD, which is like as high as it gets pretty much. So it's like 4K enabled. I know it gets to 8K, but it's very good. It's a very good smart TV. And I think it's probably like 60 inches. And I know I didn't pay more than $400 for it. Like it was cheaper than that.
Here's a question for you.
And like that's just where we're at now. That TV would have cost $2,000.
Right now, all the rage is OLED. People are getting OLED monitors and stuff.
The Nintendo 3DS launched in the US on March 27th, 2011. What do you think it was priced at?
The 3DS?
I think I remember.
200?
I think it was $400.
400?
Was it?
It was 250.
250.
Okay.
That's what was funny because you were just
What
talking
was
about the TV you could get for 250 and all that. I'm like, imagine paying 250 for this piece of crap.
I feel like I
Well,
remember.
it was the height of technology.
I paid for it. I got it. I own
just
one.
for
I feel like I
inflation,
remember
250
something
was
being that
crazy
much.
expensive back then because that's 2011. So
Yeah.
look up because the PlayStation 3 came out around
We'll
the same
put
time.
250
well, Game Boys weren't even that
2011,
cheap, like whenever they came out either.
adjusted for
Yeah.
inflation.
Because like the PlayStation, I want to say the PlayStation 3 was probably $300 retail and came out around the same time. So $50 less, and that's the DS.
I had a 3D-S, and the only thing I played on it was Lego Star Wars, and then
So
I beat the whole game and put it in a drawer and haven't seen it since.
250 in 2011 is approximately 320.
Okay,
Today.
so that's a little bit of an increase. Well, I mean it's a pretty big increase, but
Yeah, it's not accurate though because they're doing a base inflation rate of 2.31% per year. So that
it's-
doesn't have the actual inflation jump we've recently seen.
yeah, so it'd actually be more than that.
So it'd definitely be more. So we'll call it 350 to 400.
It was a lot of money. That mean 250 for a 3DS
like
in 2011.
What would you pay like 350 right now?
We were fresh off a recession. People
what
were
could
just
you
looking
get-
to drop dollars. What?
What could you get for like 350 to 400 right now? That camera is only 500. Not the one you're looking into.
In the tech world?
Oh yeah. Well, and also
A Switch? You could buy a Switch for a lot less,
an
right?
Oculus. You can get the cheaper Oculus for $400, right?
Oh, less than that.
You're right. It's like 300.
Well, you can also get
It
ones
might
that you just
be-
put your
it might
phone
be like
into for like
250.
nothing.
I think it's 300.
What is
I
a
think it might be
Nintendo
280.
Switch is $299, so cheaper for sure.
I paid $300 for my Switch.
Oculus Quest,
Yeah, look for. I think they're like 250.
Meta Quest 2 is $299.
Yeah.
$300?
Yeah. Okay.
So you can get a VR
That's,
system.
I
cheaper.
saw that at Target because I remember whenever the like VR systems came out, they were like
Yeah.
$800, and because they were really expensive when they first came out because the technology was so
Yeah.
new. And we were walking in Target the other day, and me and Gabby walked by it, and I was like, "What the crap? Those are only $300."
I'm getting less motivated to do like serious gaming and a lot more motivated to have like things like the VR. What
I
really
must say, I have the VR set. Insanely cool first 2 weeks.
right?
Couldn't even tell you where it is in my house right now.
Well, then let me borrow it. Can I borrow
It is a
it?
Yeah,
lot of
absolutely.
fun. It is a lot
Because
of fun.
what I'm
a
gonna
good time,
take
but,
you up
like-
on that because what I need to experience is the VR golf because
It's very cool.
that I need to play it once because I have a pretty good eye for like if, and I know you I probably do too, but like I have a good eye for like if I play that once, I'll know, oh my gosh, I actually would play this every day, or like yeah, I would play this for a week and then I would be
That's
like,
what happened to me.
So
Well, because what ended up
I'm gonna
happening
I'm gonna have to
it's,
give it a try.
it's just accurate enough that it's fun,
but it's not accurate.
but it's not
enough.
accurate enough that you're like,
Yeah,
like
I
think
don't need to go play golf.
I think what it ended up
Right.
doing is like if you actually want to play golf,
yeah,
it scratches the itch a little bit, but it hurts your golf game
right.
because you're swinging something that's weightless. You can't actually grip it like a club.
Yeah, well, that's
all that stuff.
you know they make a grip that's like enabled.
I still don't think it would help.
but it's got weight in it. No, I mean at the end of the day, yeah, I'm sure you're gonna hurt your swing.
But
Whenever
I'll
I
run,
played
but-
it, I was convinced that whenever I go play real ball golf, I'm gonna be incredible.
yeah, no, because it also doesn't
a
let
lot
you
easier.
like you can chunk it and stuff a little bit.
but it's not as
But
drastic.
like if you bend over and you can put your hands like all the way to the ground and your club will still hit the ball.
Yeah.
Versus like in real golf, that's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
so
very
that's what really messed up my swing. Is I started getting a lot of up and down movement. That like when you put a club in my hand, I'm like,
Okay.
where did that come from?
well, there's like
But
a minor chance that I'm
Fruit
gonna
Ninja
come steal your
was
VR.
fun. Fruit Ninja was fun. Beat Saber played. That was a good time.
So you just
But here's the thing.
it just comes with a thing. You just plug it into your TV. Like,
No.
what is it? Like the
It is
The
system.
headset
is the
is the
system.
Is the
system.
system.
is it
It's connect to
wire?
Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
It's
wireless.
So it's wireless.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just buy games on it.
The headset is the complete console.
Headset
That's the
is
complete
console.
system.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is interesting.
You can plug it into your TV if you want other people to see what you're doing.
Oh, right, because you don't. Yeah, the screen is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just put the headset on. You have the two
Wow,
controllers.
I'm taking that thing today. I'm coming over to your house so
That's
you can
fine.
tell Liz to find it.
I don't know where it is, and probably isn't charged. But yeah,
It's so,
you
what's
can-
so cool,
I'm
Trevor,
gonna
is
give
that
it
you
a
walk
try.
around the room and it like makes everything transparent
Yeah.
in your goggles, and you use the things to draw a line of where all your open space is
So you
in
can,
your
like, set
living
your
room.
plan.
Well, it's to make sure you
And then-
don't swing your golf club and hit
That's
someone.
what I'm saying.
Well,
See,
yeah,
I
but if
haven't
you're
even
playing like a fighting game or something,
I've never even put on a real VR headset
Oh,
before.
you-
So like
it'll
I'm
blow
like
your
10
mind.
years
It'll
behind.
blow
it's
your mind.
what's crazy, Trevor. Because to me, I like
I'm
the
not getting
fighting.
anything done
The
today.
fighting games are a lot more fun to me.
I
And
played
so-
a lot of boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing's a great workout. You'll end up drenched in sweat after you you throw,
But
you throw
like
down
if
a
you
few boxing
can literally
matches.
mark out how much space you have in your living room, and you can do like a full fighting thing and move around the room, but it'll measure how much you're moving compared to how much space you have, and like it's super cool. I
that's
played
incredible.
a Star Wars game on one, and freaking Darth Vader walked up in front of me, and I was actually scared. Like I had to take the goggles off for a second to remind myself I wasn't in a game. I had been playing for like an hour and a half at this point,
stuck
different
in.
games, so I was like completely in there. And freaking Darth Vader was so tall, and I was like genuinely afraid. I had to,
I think there's some games where like I just want to feel like I'm in the game. Like
it feels like that.
Ping pong, you can play ping pong, and it feels like you're really playing ping pong.
I went kayaking.
That is something that
I think the
will
ping
say,
pong is harder than real ping pong. I thought it was.
It took a little getting used to, but once you got used to it, it wasn't. But the thing that was cool about that was my brother has one, and so we could play ping pong, and I could see
That's
him,
so
he could
cool.
see me, and when like we talked, our characters' mouths moved.
That's what I'm saying. The VR
and you're just
golf.
like you're standing across the table from each other, just actually
I think
playing
if
ping
we
pong.
both
That's
had
cool.
VR golf and we could play in groups together,
Yeah, because Jimmy
that
and I
would take it
also
to another
played.
level.
That
We
would be
played
fun.
VR golf, mini golf. We played that, and like you're just walking around the course, just
All right,
talking.
Well, I think
putting.
we need an Oculus sponsor.
It's fun. It's fun, but again, I think that our generation, or at least me personally, and I would assume most of my generation, like I'm gonna have more fun playing console games.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have more fun when I first started playing VR, but like as soon as I plugged in Rock Band, it like sparked something in me.
Well, and you
Like,
can't.
that's what I want.
can't relax while playing an Oculus.
No, like you're not
You're
sitting
in-
there just like driving like when I play my Formula One on PS4,
just kinda
I'm just
sit
sitting back, mindless driving. VR, you're standing up, and
Yeah,
this
you're in
Russian guy in front of me wants to kill me, and I am punching the crap out of him.
I think I need that though, because like console games have bored me lately. Because like, and I usually want to. Like, I'd
If you
rather
want
go
a
outside.
solid 2 weeks of just like pure fun, VR's it. After that, it's just kind of like,
Well, we'll
do I want to
see.
put it on? Because I also like it trips you out some too. Because if you're in the VR world too long and I'm playing Beat Saber too much, and then I take my
I've
headset
watched
off,
Ryan
I'm like,
Trahan spend like a week in VR.
yeah,
so.
I know, I've seen that. But I'm just saying, like it will trip you out. Especially you can go
You
can
going to the
download.
metaverse yet?
No, heck no. You can download like national park tours.
And
You can like walk up and like look over the edge and like look around. and
That's
it's
what I
like
want to
you're
do
there.
too. Is like one of the thing where you like walk out on
Walk
a
on
plank
the
on a,
plank,
on a
yeah.
skyscraper.
It's trippy.
I'm
It's trippy.
taking your VR thing.
That's fine.
I'm gonna give
You
it a
can borrow
try.
it. As long as I get it back, but you can borrow it.
You're never getting it back. Well, you can have it back when you ask for it.
That's
But
trouble.
as I say, it sounds like you're.
Because I forget it exists. I could not tell you what room it is in right now.
Well, I'll come
No
find
idea.
it. I'll come find it.
No, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna set a reminder for like a week and a half from now, and just say ask for VR back.
I see myself playing it a couple times and thinking it is like the coolest thing ever, and then like I think I would also put it down and not touch it. And a lot of that probably has to do.
Well, 'cause it's
with
also
the
a
fact
much-
that I don't have time.
It's
but
also a much bigger commitment to play because it's not just I sit on my couch. I have to move furniture.
well, I've got a decent.
you
I got
need
enough
some
space to
space.
swing a golf club. For
But
sure.
you need more space than that.
Why?
Because if you get too close to the edge, it'll take you out of VR and show you, hey, you're getting close to the edge. And you need vertical space too.
We'll see. We'll see.
Now,
'Cause
you
y'all
can-
have more stuff in your living room.
You can just lie and say you have more room.
I might just lie.
Because what I have to do
couch
is
is fair
But then
game.
you might like slam your knee on your coffee table.
I just had to push
Don't
my
have
if
one.
I push
Oh,
my
okay.
coffee table up against my couch, and then between my couch and my fireplace is enough room.
Yeah.
Like this carpet is enough room. If you were to draw this
then I
carpet,
can
Yeah.
totally.
that's plenty of room to do what you need to do.
I think what
I
for
did
me-
at one point. You shouldn't. No, you do have Clara. I was swinging my golf
I
club,
might deck the dog.
and Nova ran in.
Your dog's a lot taller though.
Nova ran in as I swung down, and I
Yeah.
just felt solid contact and terrified me at first. So I was
Yeah.
like, "What did I just hit?" And then I heard her go. "Arr."
Your dog's a
I
lot
took it off,
taller.
and she's looking up at me like, "What did I do?" I was like, "Nova."
I think for me, the golf game, what'll be very make or break, and I've heard it feels very realistic, but as somebody who's played a lot of golf and like has expectations for what a golf shot should look like, if I feel like it's not that accurate,
Chipping is what ruined it for me. Hitting shots, I was like, that was pretty. Like it had my slides. I was like, that's pretty
I would
accurate.
say if I feel like the
Chipping,
shapes are,
there's no like touch doesn't really exist.
yeah,
It was very hard to like slow down and like get because you also can't change like the loft of the club and stuff. It's very hard to like
Yeah.
adjust. So like chipping ruined it. Going to
Okay.
Top Golf and playing was a good time because you're just hitting
Yeah.
shot after shot after shot. But
interesting.
like
We'll have to
the
see.
And putting was very accurate. I will say that. Putting, I felt like I got better at putting.
The other thing that'll definitely frustrate me is if I take my normal golf swing and it produces a shot shape that I don't actually get out of a normal golf swing. I might just put it down right then.
I never really had that issue.
Well,
me.
You have a like pretty typical right to left shape or left to right shape. Mine, I don't know. I don't really know what my shot shape is right now, so maybe I need to learn.
Well, you can borrow my VR and then you report back to us next week when you hand it back to me on the Banter.
That'll be a good check mark. I'll bring it back in a week to the Banter, and then I can talk about what I thought about it.
Yeah.
Were you able to shoot under par?
Oh no. Like I was shooting like 100 to 105s.
Now that gets me excited. All right, now I'm back in. Because if it's accurate, because like that's pretty on par.
I broke 100 once, but I was from the shorter tees, from whites.
So it might be giving you a couple strokes, but not really. It's pretty accurate.
Well, I think I was able to hit the ball farther than I can in real life, but it was harder to chip.
That's huge, yeah.
So it balanced out because it was a lot harder to chip.
You can kind of set the distance though, can't you, to like what you hit? Yeah,
you can.
Man.
Because I was very tempted to just juke.
I am doing nothing tonight.
Because my driver would land like 225 to 230 on the game.
Oh, wow.
And then roll. Like sometimes I would get a roll. Like there's some, because you're also playing wild courses. So there's some where my driver goes over 300 yards, but I'm on a cliff.
Right.
But a lot of times it would land like what I have my power set to. It would land like 250 was like I really got a hold of it, and it would roll to like 300 yards. That was like, so it was a little farther than I do in real life.
I mean, that would be. I would say that'd be a wild oversight if you couldn't, but you never know, man. Being a lefty is not easy sometimes.
No, I don't know. You should be able to. You might have to create a new account. If you box, just box people have already boxed, because I'm undefeated and I don't want that record.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I won't mess with your boxing record.
You can mess with.
I've never been boxing.
I'm really only interested in the golf.
You can box. Well, boxing's. I mean, when you get hit and then you're just like you're like it starts spinning, the vision goes black and white.
Is there a character that I'm certainly not going to lose to? Oh, I can.
There's plenty of ones you certainly won't lose to. I'm right now at like.
If I box previous people, it won't mess up your record. It shouldn't mess up.
Well, if you lose to them, you might. But you shouldn't lose.
I'm not.
I don't have any boxing experience, and I haven't lost yet.
Okay. Well, I'll try.
The key is you just go. Just keep your hands up. As soon as he swings once, just start pounding his face in.
Okay.
They do. They're trying a lot of trash talk.
I would really
Liz
like to.
loves sitting on the couch watching me just box the crap out of people, and I turn to a different person.
I was about to say I would really love to watch you play VR boxing.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That's funny.
It was a good time. Maybe that's what we can do for Foundation Nation video.
VR.
We record ourselves, and then we just have that in like the side.
Yeah.
Make sure you have the silicone thing on the headset when you do boxing, because you will sweat like crazy. And if you don't, it just turns into a sweatband.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Have you? Oh, Hunter, have you ever done any of the scary ones on there? Of course you haven't.
No.
It's scary.
I can imagine.
It's so scary.
Have you seen?
It's like you're actually in a dark room alone, and it's terrifying.
There's places where you can do the full VR experience where you're on an omnidirectional treadmill, and you're actually given like a real like fake prop gun to use. And there's like this clip of these two people like at a place like this playing this like zombie game, and like watching this guy turn and run like his life depends on it on this treadmill, and you see on the screen like it is the fun. Like he turns and runs like you would think he's about to die. Like he is running full sprint.
I've got to watch that. It sounds so funny.
And like they're screaming, and he's just like on this treadmill going nowhere.
That's the thing I'll say about VR is like I downloaded a Modern Warfare type game.
Yeah,
and it was very cool in the aspect that like to reload the gun, you actually have to pull the mag out, grab from your waist, put the mag in, and then pull. Like you had to like actually like do it.
The clip. I'll show it to you later.
But the issue was to walk, you just use the joystick.
That's tough to like.
So it was very tough of like everything else I'm really doing, but to move,
not to walk into your TV.
Because even crouching, I'm sitting. You get down and get behind.
Every
stuff,
time you see people,
but then you go to move, you have to just move here, and I'm like,
every time you see people play VR for the first time, you see them walk around more than because they don't have to at all. But you see them like start walking
because you feel like you need to.
Right.
The other games like Beat Saber, Fruit Ninja, boxing when you move, it actually moves. So like I take a step closer to you, I actually take a step closer.
Yeah.
But
that's how a lot of them are.
You're like this far from the person, so I can get back, get close.
What the frick?
But in the war game, if I moved, I moved. But the issue is I'm on a street. I got to walk 300 feet. So I can't move. So
if
you
I
move
like
with that.
if I like this headset enough, I might have to sell some stuff to buy a.
I would sell your
One-
VCR player.
It's not mine. It's my parents.
Hey, be like, hey, mom and dad, do you care if I take this? I
It's
think
not
Brooks
gonna
will
go
really
for,
love it.
It's not going to go for $300.
No, but you could easily get 60, 70 out of it, sell some VCRs. You might get to $100.
That's a start.
Now it's only $200.
A game that I really liked on it was one where you're like a spy and you are on a kayak and you have to go through this river that's going through somebody's base and you like snipe people and shoot people while you're on a kayak. So you're like the kayaking. I've been kayaking a lot in my life. And it was bizarre how much I felt like I was on a kayak whenever I was playing it. Like I was sitting in a chair, rowing this kayak, and then you take out a gun, and it feels so like the way they have like the triggers like laid out on the actual thing. Whenever it's just your bare hands in the game, and you go to grab something, it really feels like you're grabbing something because the way the triggers are laid out. It is so weird.
This actually be a fun game to do for Foundation Nation too. There's this game it's literally called Spy Game, I think, where I think it's a PC game. You might have seen it before, but basically it's you have like like an area, like a balcony of like a dinner party or something, and everybody you either are the sniper or you're just a random person or you're the spy, and you basically walk around, like you can talk to people, and then like the spy has to do certain tasks. So it's kind of like an original Among Us, honestly, and the sniper is watching everybody walking around doing things and trying to figure out who the spy is, and then they have to snipe somebody based on who they think the spy is.
That sounds like fun.
And yeah, it's a pretty
That's
neat
like
game.
We definitely need to somehow. I don't know if it's a live stream or what. I think it's a Foundation Nation once a month live stream, and we have game night, and we just have everyone come in.
Yeah,
it's gonna be elaborate, but we need to play games like two rooms in a boom.
Never played that.
You never really came to game nights.
No, the disc golf ones.
You're
no.
missing so much. 2 rooms in a boom. Basically, what happens is you start in 2 rooms. There's a red team and a blue team. Mm-hmm. The blue team goal is to protect the president. The red team's goal is to blow the president up. There's a certain amount of rounds, and when the rounds are over, if the bomber for the red team is in the blue room, the president dies. And if the president and the bomber are together, the president dies. But if there's someone who can like bomb technician or something with the president that can heal, and so you're physically in 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So if we did it in here, a group would be in there, a group would be in here, and we'd have to set up a curtain because then each round the whole room nominates a negotiator, and the negotiators go in, talk with each other a little bit, and then send a player to the other room. And so
how do you learn anything?
You talk to each other in the room. So you can reveal your card to whoever you want. You can do whatever. And there's a spy that like their card is blue, but they're the red spy. Oh. So if you see it, if they show you the whole card, or you can show just the color, or you can show the whole card to people.
Is it really difficult to be the bomber?
No, because what'll happen is you get in a room and you find the bomber needs someone with him as well. And the president needs someone to save him. The bomber needs someone to blow him up. So you have to find that person. So then you're talking, and then the only communication between the 2 rooms is the 2 negotiators.
So the bomber's also trying to find somebody.
Yeah, pretty much everyone in the game is trying to find someone, and the only communication between the 2 rooms is the negotiators.
I love that.
So then the negotiators,
I would be the worst negotiator.
I've been in a situation where like I'm the only red person in the whole room, and the rest of the room's blue, and so or something like that. I forget exactly what it was. But the only way, so like I had to keep waiting for people to come across, but then I was feeding the information to the negotiator that I was blue. And so I'm like, I'm blue, man. And like, I think the bomber's in my room. Like I really do. Cause I knew the bomber's in his room cause he wasn't in my room.
Yeah.
And the negotiator's like, I swear it's whoever. Cause we were both on the blue team. I was like, no, there's no way. I was like, I forget the people I was playing with, but there's 2 people, they won't show me their cards. And like, I've shown everyone I'm blue. Everyone in our room trusts me. I was like, I'm going to send one of the people I don't trust. So if he gets over there, I sent one of the blue people. Like if he gets over there, I really don't trust him. Try to see his card. Send him. Immediate mistrust in that room. It worked out beautifully. By the end, I had the president in my side because I convinced the other negotiator, trust me, send the president over here. And I knew who the bomber was. And he eventually, somehow the bomber played a great game, got over there too. I might have been the bomb technician. And so I had them both in my room. And then the game was over and our room celebrated. Even me, I'm like, yeah, let's go, guys. We walk in. I was like, so who's the bomber? Who's the bomb technician? And then we flipped over our cards. I mean, it was like the greatest moment of my life. Because I was like, President, you just died. That was a fake celebration. It was great. We need to do that and Spyfall. Like that. Have you ever played Spyfall?
Oh my gosh, you play that game?
Oh, heck yeah, I play that game. Any game that involves bold-faced lying to people.
Wait.
Hunter, I am disgusting at Spyfall.
We're playing that on stream.
I have tried so hard.
Yes, I have Spyfall on my phone. I played it
on your phone.
It's a website.
Oh, there's an
app.
app.
It's a card game.
Oh, there's an app.
We all play 3 different versions of the same thing. As you get a location, one person's a spy.
And you all have roles in the location.
Yeah, I have the physical card game.
Oh, it must have been originally, or maybe they made a card game out of the website.
You deal out, you deal out. Everyone gets a location card. One person gets a spy card, and you like look at it to reference to answer the questions. And you're all sitting at a big table.
They make one that is just on your phone.
Oh.
So it's on your. So everybody gets the location, but one of you just gets question marks. I have tried that
game out with so many different groups, and it can be difficult to explain for the first time, even though it's not a complex game.
I was literally, while you were saying that, I was thinking about trying to explain this game to you guys.
The hardest thing to explain to people is what kind of questions to use, because my friends and I, we would use like movie references to like get them to zero on. Like we would say like Robert De Niro or Brad Pitt and like be trying to get them to, like we would get so in depth with it.
The disc golf group that we played games with, we played so many games together that you just we played like Werewolf, Secret Hitler, Two Rooms in a Boom.
Secret Hitler's a good one too.
And then
Secret Hitler's a good one too.
Spyfall. So there's a lot of games that are very similar.
I love Spyfall.
But Spyfall was like the easiest to explain to our group. But it was also
favorite.
it was
some
so
groups just
fun.
don't get it, but then like I had some groups like in college, like in my dorms that we would play where everybody kind of clicked and we had amazing games.
Toughest one was like
I would lie straight to people.
I'd be the spy and people like first question I'd get be like, so how's the weather where you're at?
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, oh man, it's beautiful out.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Yeah,
but then our group, no one would immediately catch you, like intentionally.
Right. Well,
they just let you think you're playing a great game.
Yeah.
And everyone knows this guy's bold-faced lying. And so they just keep asking you questions, and you just say it, and they're like, oh, okay, so. Oh, you definitely could. All right.
That's where you answer like, well, it depends on who you are. To me, I think it's beautiful.
But then it's pouring rain outside.
What if I love the rain?
Like, no, because you got to think of playing the game. No one should ever say rain is beautiful.
I would get frustrated at people because they would ask questions that were so easy to give an answer that was like
obviously the spy
non-consequential.
Obviously, the spy knows that you're in.
Sometimes
the church.
you're
need to
obviously
ask,
in the airplane right now.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to ask like this or that questions, or else you're never gonna get real information.
I was so proud of myself for asking a question last time I played because I thought I asked the best question, and it was a submarine was where we were, and I felt like my friend Jacob was the spy, and so I was like, so Jacob, would you feel comfortable going out the back door and taking the trash in this place? And
see that
I was like, man, that was a good question.
If that's
and then I was like, how'd you know? And he was like, obviously it was a submarine.
Yeah, I was gonna say the problem. That's the other thing that frustrated me in that game is people would ask questions, but they didn't. And it's one of the things that comes with playing the game a bunch. But you don't realize that if you ask a question that is obviously very much a trap question, then they're gonna be like, well, I wonder what they're trying to get me to say here. Like, there's only one location where that would stink. But yeah, great game.
Yeah, we need to do a once a month live stream, and each month we choose a different game, and we have a group of like
Spyfall you can play with
6 to 10 people.
Bunch, yeah. I used to play Spyfall like 8
and we
people.
play games like that, Werewolf, whatever. So it'd be hard to produce because during the live stream, everyone needs to know who everyone is for the live stream's sake.
Yeah, you would need to have like everybody's faces with their role beneath it. Like
yeah, we'd have to figure out a way. It'd be much easier to produce it as a video than it would be do a live stream.
Yeah.
But it'd be more fun as a live stream.
Very true.
I don't know. Regardless, that needs to happen.
That does.
And it's going to start with 2 Rooms in a Boom because y'all haven't played it, and that game is so much fun.
Yeah, no, that does sound like fun. I love games like that. When
the best
games that have loose rules to where you can basically just make things up are the best.
That's the best part is just the fact that
it's just like who
there's
can
just
talk
the
the
2
best,
negotiators,
basically.
and the negotiators are nominated by the room, so you have to get the room to trust you.
Oh, gotcha.
To send you as the negotiator. So like you have to build trust here, then you have to build trust with the other negotiator. Or build mistrust if you want to there. And then it gets strategic because if you play like a really good game, you'll end up with the full blue room and you're blue. But you have to send someone over now. And you're worried like, I know the president's in here. What if they send the bomber?
Yeah.
Or like what if one of these people's lying to me and they're the bomb tech?
Yeah.
It gets With our group, it would get very heated and it'd be electric.
That's the best.
'Cause that's what happened with the disc golf team. Is we were all good enough friends and we played in my parents' basement. So one group was in the unfinished part of the basement, the storage. One group was in the like movie room area, and then the negotiators met in the actual basement in the middle.
I love that. So they're real separated.
Oh yeah, there was no hearing anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, it ended in so many fights because just pure mistrust.
That's the best.
It was. And Devin is incredible at these games.
That does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, Devin is because he would watch people play him on YouTube, and then he would come in with strategies that we never even thought of.
Yeah,
especially Werewolf. Werewolf's a great game. Y'all played Werewolf, surely?
Yeah.
One Night Werewolf.
I haven't.
Trevor, you would love that game.
I bet. I imagine.
It's basically just like
I love games.
It's basically just a little bit
like
better
Mafia.
version of Mafia. I hate
It's Mafia, but it gives you more roles. So like, there's more stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
And then when you're at the end, you just have to figure out who everyone is, and you have to vote out the werewolves.
Yeah. I get the premise.
I'm good at those games, but I hate them. They make me so uncomfortable.
They are by far my favorite
There's
games.
nothing like playing Spyfall. There's nothing that brings me more joy than becoming the spy.
I hate being a spy.
Just love it. Especially like now when you're playing with very experienced players, it's a little stressful. But when you're playing with relatively new players who think they're good but really don't know yet. I mean, I used to win so much at the beginning. They eventually caught on to all my tricks, but I would win so much that they would just, I mean, I was guilty every time we started the game. They just would assume it was me, and it would hold us back every time because they would just be like, but you, like, they didn't want to get beat again.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they
beat them.
They did anyways.
I think that's a good show. What's the random sound to fill out? We went everywhere today.
I think that would go with.
I feel like I've been here for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been looking at the clock. It's 9 o'clock. I don't know what time we started filming, but it's got to be like an hour and a half show.
Do your best.
What's our time at right now?
We're at 1 hour and 31 minutes.
Yeah, I'll say good night.
Dang.
All right, go ahead and give me your best like shuffling sound. Like that's pretty good.
That was okay.
That's pretty good.
Ooh, reverse
That was the
shuffle.
bridge.
Yeah, the bridge. Learning how to do the bridge is a big part of my life.
Don't do a reverse bridge.
That's impressive.
No, can't. Just shove them together. These cards aren't very springy.
Yeah, not having springy cards can be embarrassing. Sometimes you try to bridge and it's like
Definitely bridge, but I can't reverse bridge with these.
I can do a corner shuffle pretty easily.
Yep, can't reverse bridge anymore with these.
They don't have the spring.
Did you ever do the whatever this was? Pharaoh, I think it was called.
No, I didn't know that many shuffles. I could never do a one-handed shuffle. That was cool. I could shoot cards from hand to hand pretty well.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Like where you go corner.
And yeah,
you go corner to corner.
it's been a long time since I've done that.
It's easier to do with a smaller deck. I don't know that I can still do it very accurately.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like you shoot the top card.
No, not like
This.
No.
It's gonna be almost impossible with those. But once you get it, it's gonna go far.
Yeah, I don't think I can anymore.
I just do one of those numbers.
We'll see you in the next one.
Spaghetti.
Man, we're the ones that gotta
Silas.
clean that up.
Clean that up, man. He's not in here.
He's not in here.